Hello, I'm just going to talk through how I think that you should revise maths. And I think the key really is the title of this slide, that it's actually really about repetition of maths when we're thinking about how should be revising for it. One thing you could do is to ask your child, your student, each week what topic they've been studying with us in their lessons. Check if they've got homework. Have they got any assessments to prepare for? And one good thing you could do is get them to teach you something that they have learnt this week. Sort of re-engages their mind with the topic and gives them more of a chance to remember what they've been doing. Also, you need to make sure that there is a good place in your house for students to work. Maths, unfortunately, does consist of lots of short answer questions, which require quite a lot of discipline to stay on task with. So think about how many opportunities there are for distraction during a revision session. One thing that becomes increasingly important as we build up for mocks and beyond is to have the correct equipment. 2/3 of the maths exam require a calculator, and getting that right calculator as early as possible is vital so that we can practice with it in lessons and at home. Calculators are currently on parent pay, and please consider buying one of those Casio calculators that we sell, not one of the sort of cheap Poundland or Wilco alternatives. There is a reason they're more expensive. They are obviously better, but actually the functionality is better and easier to use for the students as well. When students are working, encourage them to work in the correct way. Are they making notes that are neat? And could you learn from them? Are they making their calculations as clear as possible? Students do tend to lose quite a lot of marks in maths just from us not being able to read numbers, or maybe them not being able to read their own work for when it comes to writing a new line underneath. So really important that we encourage them to work in the correct way. Maths requires a lot of grit, and revision itself requires a lot of even more grit, because the students are going to be coming across things that they have forgotten how to do or that they're making mistakes on, and we need to encourage them to work through those mistakes, find ways to correct them. That could be looking at videos, that could be asking for support, asking for help, just checking answers, checking work solutions. All of that sort of stuff is really important, and the more work and support you can give during that revision time, the better. A website that's been familiar to students for quite a while now will be Hegerty Maths. And actually, for the students, when it comes to revising, we've been training them for the last few years with how to revise. We do a mini test in class, and then we give them a clip number from that test that they need to go away and relearn. It's always something we've done before, so it's actually really based on revision. How they should be doing that at home at the moment is to watch a video and then answer questions and do a quiz on it. And that, to be honest, is how we should be revising. Find a problem, watch a video to solve that problem, and then practice that. Practice more questions like the problem we have. Now, what to do though if your child gets stuck with that revision at home? Key thing, probably just watch the video again. Sometimes watching something for a second, maybe even a third time, does help with understanding. If they're still struggling with that though, then Hegerty does include building blocks, which are easier alternatives to the topic that the students are reading about at that time. For example, here you can see that we've got area of a sector 2 as the video, and then area of a sector 1 is the suggested building block, and below that you have triangles 1 as well. Hegerty also has something called Fix Up 5. Hegerty has remembered every question that the students have ever got incorrect, and it will re-ask those questions. Fix Up 5 is available straight on the Hegerty screen. There's a little button at the top, as you can see in this picture. Clicking on that gives you 5 questions to do, and that's a really powerful way of students sort of finding out what they can't do. It also remembers every question that they've got right, and it will generate 10 question quizzes from topics that they should be remembering. Those quizzes are formed from topics that they studied 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, and then up to 3 years ago. So that's how they form those quizzes. So really powerful tool again to get students to revisit lots and lots of different topics. That's just Hegerty Maths, though. There are other things that we can do. And after the second set of mocks, revision should switch really to past papers and exam style questions. I've put a couple of links there that might be helpful when it comes to finding past papers. But please remember that AQA is our exam board. But if you wanted to try an Edexcel past paper, they are fine. And if you do run out of Edexcel AQA past papers, sorry, then switch to Edexcel, and practicing maths is the key there. As teachers, we will have access to more papers. So please just ask. We do have sort of stocks of other files of papers that we've gathered over the last 3 or 4 years. So please just ask, and we're more than happy to send those past papers. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful, and we can help students revise, preparing for their GCSEs next year.